deal during Africa. Things in my head. But God had a different plan. Oh, you got the bongos?
Yeah, I just don't have the middle piece, but
I want you to take a stick with one hand, your right hand, and your left hand, you're just going to play with your hand. And we're going to do it fast, and everybody close your eyes. I want you to hear a rhythm. Fast rhythm. It's an African rhythm. Just begin to play.
I don't believe I really heard African rhythms.
Just do it fast, double beat. Right in between, you'll do the left hand. Double beat with the right hand, go with the left hand.
Like that.
Beat it up. Okay? Good. See, in Africa, you flow with the beat of what God is giving you. They do actions. The action was to chase God. See, that's what we're all supposed to do, is just chase God. Turn to the plate of the person beside you, put your hand on them, and tell them God has a purpose for your life.
God has a purpose for you. Has a purpose for you.
See, that's quite often what we don't realize is God has a purpose for our lives. You were born for a purpose. God chose your mother and your father. Sometimes mothers and fathers aren't what we would like to have. I would have took a rich dad. But that wasn't what God designed. God's first promise with a blessing is honor your father and mother. The rest of it is that your days may be long on the earth. In other words, you're promised if you honor them, then you'll live a long life. That's why I can still, at my age, get around like I can, is because of the blessings of God. Honor means that you don't have to necessarily like everything that they do, but you show preference for them. You show by your actions that you care about them. Honor is a great thing. That's mainly what we did on this trip to Africa. Now, you can blame what I'm fixing to say on my daughter who said that I was supposed to hurry today, and I left all my notes, sermon notes at home. We're just going to go with the flow.
Amen.
I've learned in the last week, being in Africa, to learn to go with the flow. It was a real experience. I had my faith stretched, and we all need our faith stretched. Every so often. I faced death. Satan tried to kill me. I thought it'd interesting the very day I get back in the States, he tried to take Dana out. That's how he operates. But God. You see, I believe my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren all have a promise from God. They may face death. But God said He would bless me into the third and fourth generation. God's going to give them a chance. I was my mother's enigma, if you want to call it that. I was the child who gave her the most aggravation. I was the stubborn child. But Mama always loved me. I didn't understand why that Mama loved me sometimes, but Mama got frustrated with me. She said to me that I was the most stubborn, and why could I not be like my sisters? Well, I wasn't born to be like my sister. Mama, at 12 years old, met Jesus Christ. My grandparents on either side weren't really go to church people. But my mama had an uncle who would take her to Sunday school every Sunday. And one day she had to walk miles to the church, and that's why it's so great to be out where we were. You have to walk miles. People come to church to worship. It means something. But while she was out there, her uncle went ahead, and she was all alone, and she almost panicked. But she looked up, and she saw Jesus Christ standing there, motioning her to come on. You see, that began the experience of God. Somebody asked me, where are the great patriarch families today? And I got to thinking about it. In my family, we saw miracles. Miracles just happened around us. My niece, they said she would never have children. Now she has 2. My niece, they said, would die in childbirth. It was too early, but she's alive. We used to pray as a family because of crisis that come. Satan tried to take us out. But God. You see, God loves us more than any mother.
Yes.
And we were born for a purpose. And you can try to run from your purpose. I tried for years. I got my award for 40 years of being the union I'm in, but I got the job because I went in my closet. I was unemployed, I had 2 children, and I needed a miracle, and I finally got around to asking God, I need to go to work somewhere. And there in the closet, God said, go get a pencil and paper. I've never heard anybody doing that before. Never heard God talking that way before. But I went and got a pencil and paper. It was dark in the closet out there. And God said, pick up the pencil and write. You know, after I stepped out of the closet, I looked at that paper, and there it said where I would go to work. It said when I would go to work. And that's where I went to work on that very day. It all said that I would face hell 3 times. And I faced it. I hope I'm about done facing hell. But the greatest things I experienced God, not church. Most of us have a bad concept of church. We have a wrong perception of what church is. In fact, if you read the history, you find out we got that wrong perception from the King James Version Bible. That's a shock to some people. But in 1611, when they translated the word for church, it's either, the Greek word is ecclesia or ecclesia, whichever one you want to say. But it really means called out ones. That's all it means. Called out ones. We're separated people. My grandson and great-grandsons and granddaughters, all those are different from everybody else because of choices that man made. And we're called out ones. And God doesn't turn loose what's called out one. So if you're a Christian, church really means called out ones. I was with my brothers in Africa, my brothers and sisters, and they're just as called out as I was. And we were just as kin as I am to you. There was love there. I experienced a different anointing there. I was with an apostle. It was a switch. David switched from a prophet to the apostle, because the son there, the young man there, 31 years of age, is their Kathy and David's spiritual son. So that makes David the apostle there. So I had a different anointing. I became an evangelist prophet. Never operated really in groups like that, but God stretched you. It's interesting. I love it. But in that atmosphere of dedication of those people, it was easy to flow. We in America forget sometimes where we've come from. We don't realize the struggles of life like they do. We had to have miracles. One service, Patrick, the young man there, is 31, has started 23 churches in 5 years. Without ability of car or anything to get where he went. But he's traveled, started churches in a wide area that took us a couple 100 miles every day going to those places. The different churches. And he had to have God watching over him all the time. We want to help you. I said, we want to help you. Today you're going to get a chance to sow seed. In my life as a Christian, I found out the most important thing you can do is sow seed. I got to go to the world because I sowed $3 one time. Didn't have $3. It's just that I had a desire. I heard a young man get up who was going to South America, who God did miracles for, to give him money to go, and he was there to raise money. And I told God, I said, I'm sorry, I'm unemployed. I just got filled with Spirit, but I don't have any money right now. And I looked at my billfold, and there was $3. So I give my $3 that I don't know how I got there, but I sowed it. And I go to the world today to come to it. See, that's how you get things from God. You've got to sow something of yourself. It's not just something that God just gives you, but you sow something. And He blesses whatever you sow. This morning, I am hoping that I'm going to flow in the Spirit that I flow there. See, it's a different anointing, so what I'm fixing to do, I need God's help, and I need your prayer. I want to talk to you about mother's love briefly. In my family, my dad raised chickens. Now, I wish my grandchildren had got the pleasure of having to take care of chickens. You'd learn a lot about life just raising chickens. Now, the only real good chicken is a Southern fried chicken. I want you to understand that to begin with. I don't admire chickens because of their attitudes. You know, sometimes in church, I look at people and I listen to them a while and I said, that's that type of chicken. You know, chickens moan and complain all the time. You've been around chickens, you've heard complaints. Not only that, there is a runt chicken that will be born in a brood. And their nature. I hated that nature. I didn't think that was right. So I saved this little runt chicken. I took it aside every day when I went out to feed the chickens. And I used to call chickens. Now, I don't know whether they knew the sound of the voice or not, but they knew that food was there, so they all ran. But that little runt chicken I took off to the side and I fed it by itself, because I knew if I let it try to get with the rest of them, they'd kill it. And so, every day I'd take her aside, and she got to be like a dog. I just had to walk in the lot where it was, all fenced in, and she'd go, she was so happy to see me, because she wanted food. But do you know, she got to be bigger than the other hen. I would have thought with the nature of me sacrificing to set her apart, that her nature would have been different. Because I had mercy and grace on this one chicken. But you know what broke my heart? She got to be the biggest, and you know what she did? She became the bull. She just weighed in. When they start they'll fight over one piece of corn and you've thrown out 100 pieces. That's just their nature. And that big hen, if one started to get a piece of corn, she'd run over and she'd bump them out of the way and she'd take it. And I thought, I sacrificed for you, set you apart, and this is how you're going to act. But you know, in church, if we're not careful, we don't really find out what church is. That's how we act. We're not here to judge anybody or shove anybody out of the way for spiritual gifts. We're here to build each other up and bring everybody into what God's called them to do. But one thing I always admired about an old hen, now her nature was she was scared to death. I learned to tell the weather by chickens. Anybody know what I mean? Chickens always know when there's storm coming. Long before it gets there, before you can see the clouds in the sky, the chicken knows. Her voice changes. And she gets real nervous. Now she'll start running to the hen house or wherever she's going to roost long before the storm gets there. And I noticed after a while I could tell when the storm was coming because they're already heading off. They'll even leave food. And when I started seeing the clouds leave, I knew it's time to get in the house. There's going to be a doozy. But if she had little chicks, her nature was entirely different. She'd leave those chickens around and she'd make sure they all got food. And she wouldn't eat. She let them eat first. And let a storm arise, she knew that they probably couldn't make it to the hen house in time. She would spread her wings over them and she would start pulling them into herself. And it didn't matter if it was a hailstorm or what it was, she kept them covered to make sure not one of them ever got hurt. You see, I admire that about her. But she only did that when she had chickens, little chicks. You know, that's really how the church is supposed to be. You see, we're actually part of a kingdom, of a king. And our king has that kind of nature. He's always protecting us. Sometimes I didn't deserve the protection. I could have died when I was a teenager, the stupid things I did. But God had grace because my mother prayed. The greatest power in the world is a mother praying. My mother prayed, and she prayed for me, and she kept claiming my name. My name means God is merciful. God is gracious. And that's what she claimed for me. But my mother was the one that was shocked when God got around to giving her a dream. She saw me in the dream preaching. And you know what her reaction was? That can't be John. But it was her prayers that got me there, that changed my life. When I got to be 30 years old, I was desperate. I'd lost everything. And I found out the meaning of life. You may do whatever you want to do. I tried partying, I tried everything. But when it all boils down in life, what is important is family and meeting God. And at 30 years old, I had to confess before God that I messed up my life. And I didn't see anything within me that He could ever use. But there all alone, God left me. So I asked Him to come. Now, He's got a sense of humor, I soon discovered. I'd been thrown out of language class at Milligan College because I couldn't speak Spanish. I couldn't roll over. I couldn't get my tongue right. My professor finally got so frustrated, he told me to go immediately to the office and drop that class. I was disturbing his classes. I never could get it right. Everybody else could do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do that twill or whatever you want to call it. But it's amazing when I met God, I started rolling over. It wasn't the power that was so exciting that when I was being filled with God's Spirit, it was the love that I felt for the first time in my life. There's nothing like it. You know, on this trip, I could feel the love God had for those people. And it's interesting. We were there to go to all the different churches that Patrick had started. Now, Patrick's 31 years old. He doesn't have a car, but he's traveled hundreds of miles from where he's centered at and started churches, even to Mozambique. He's got 2 children. He was so smart in school that most of us would have been shocked at their school system. After you go to grade school, it's furnished, but you have to pass a test before you go to the next step. You don't pass it, you're doomed to stay in the village. Live like they do, have lived for hundreds of years. No electricity. But Patrick was so smart, they sent him to high school. He was so smart there, they sent him to college. So smart there, they offered him to become a doctor. They would pay for his education. But God called him and said, I want you to go preach. But Patrick left. What he could have been to sacrifice. See, that's what I love going overseas and seeing young people sacrificing for God. Giving. And I come home and I want to cry because I see young people that don't have a direction. But God's going to change things in there. Because Patrick and them were praying for us, and that's what we're praying for them. We were there to go and we honored the chief in every area because they're tribal people. Everything's controlled by a chief in every area, out in the bush. So, but what amazed me, one of the greatest services was, the chief was a lady, and she looked just like my mother, only black. When I first looked at her, it shocked me. And so I asked God, I was supposed to do the sermon, and I was supposed to praise Him, get their attention, and all this sort of thing. And there was the chief, looked like my mother, so I preached a sermon on mother and her love. You know, those mothers there love their children just as much as we do, even though they don't have money. I see a lot of mothers with orange hair there, and you know what that means in the black race is that they're malnutrition. And I saw mothers whose hair was turning orange to make sure their children dying from AIDS. We had so many orphans. I'd love to start an orphanage, but I needed help. He said, I watched children at night go to bed and don't have food. We have to feed our children, but we have to feed them too, and I don't know what to do. I need God, and I need you to pray for me. We don't face that in America, man. I had to look. We were at one church, and Patrick had a word of knowledge. He stood up and he said, before the service began, he said, before we do anything, there's a need here. There's 4 people here that have the sense of death on them. And sure enough, exactly 4 men come forward and had AIDS. It's life and death there. We met the enemy there. He tried to kill me twice. We were in a van. We went to an area where we desperately wanted to go. He wanted to show us that area. It was up in the mountains. And it had rained. And normally they call off the service because that has red clay. And you only have a 1-lane road up through those mountains. And it's like kind of going the other way out of Bristol. What is that road that we rode? 421. Anybody been on 421, the Kiski curve? Well, our roads are like that in the mountains. And that van, we had 9 people in it. And we're going down and we're going up. And the first time we started down, I said, oh my goodness, it was straight down. And how do you get a van stuck going downhill? Now, I don't know how you do that, but God knows, because that van got stuck. But that's the only thing that slowed us down to the speed that we really need to be going. If we hadn't got stuck, the driver couldn't control it. And the odd thing is, my driver was Muslim. Young man. He was raised Muslim, but he's about, when we left, he was about 3/4 Christian. He was singing praise songs. He hadn't got spirit-filled yet. He was well on the way. But he was a fine young man, but he was giving it all he had. I saw the terror in his eyes as we slid over down that hill. But right in the middle of it, it mired up. 2 men got out the back and had to shove it downhill. We went on a little further, and I thought, well, praise God. I didn't get nervous. It's wonderful to know you're in God's will.
Yes.
But I didn't even get nervous, and all of a sudden we went around the curve, and the driver, it slid one way and slide the other way. He kept trying to fight the wheel, but it was sliding one way and the other way. And I looked over, they gave me the grace to sit in the front seat. So I got to see where we were headed. We slid right over to the edge. And we would have rolled. There was no trees to stop us. We had gone over. I don't know how far we were rolling. But we were right on the edge sliding, and all of a sudden something shoved that van back into the road. You could literally feel the pressure. And you what it was. We got to the service. The funny thing was, we got to service, we had to leave the car and walk another mile up in the mountain. And I couldn't stay out in the sun because of the drug I was taking. So, I got a supernatural strength. I outrun everybody back up to the church and everybody back. It's just God. The last service, I got words of knowledge there that I normally don't get in America. Last service, this young man came up, or a little older, but anyway, I began to pray for him. And I told him, I said, I break the division of your family off of you. Now, I didn't know anything about his family, but we were sitting in Patrick's house 2 hours after that, and this man calls excited. He tells Patrick, he says, you won't believe what happened. He says, Brother Johnny prayed for me and cast the vision off, and my brother, who I haven't seen in years, who we had a fight, and we haven't spoken in years, called me from South Africa and wanting to renew our relationship. 2 hours. You see, God's a healing God all around, and God cares about relationships more than anything else. Number one, He cares about your relationship with you.
Amen.
He wants a relationship with you more than you want it with Him. He wanted all my life a relationship with me and extended mercy because of my mother. And I've been extended grace. We saw miracles there. We had 2 ladies delivered from demons, and it was probably the easiest I've ever seen because there wasn't all that screaming and all the other things you do in the hand. We just prayed. But the great thing is to see what Patrick had raised up. Can you imagine 5 churches? I mean, in 5 years, 23 churches. And probably the smallest one of the newer ones, they meet out in their tree. They don't have a church building yet. It takes about $1,000 to buy land for a church. Now, they build their own church out of mud brick. They make themselves their own hands. But they need a roof on it, metal. They make their own roofs out of the thatch that they weave, and it'll last 6 months to a year. But if it starts leaking, it melts those bricks. So they need roofs. A lot of those churches, about $1,000, put a metal roof on them, and they'll last forever. Most of them don't have Bibles in their own language. 23 churches. It costs $6 to get a Bible for them. Guess what's coming? You see, I made promises there. I had a prophetic word before we left. The black sister here gave me a prophetic word one night here about I was going to meet somebody and become united to them. I'm going to go back to her church and tell her prophecy's right. Now she can fork over the money. But how would you like to sow into a work for $6 to give somebody the word? See, that's what we have an opportunity for. I told them at work the first day back that about the conditions, and I already got $1,000 just by sharing the gospel and what their needs are and the love. David's going to make a presentation. He's coming down soon, and we're going to different churches. And I want y'all to see Patrick and his family. His wife is named Esther in English. It's Esnor there. But her mother and her sister, both, the sister is less than, I believe she's 29. They both have AIDS and sentence of death on them. We were in a service one day, and I looked around at Esnor, and I could see her crying. And she's a nice worship leader. And afterwards, all alone, I said, Esnor, what's wrong? And she said, I saw my sister right in front of her. Her father's already died from her. But yet she's out spreading the gospel. My regret before I left was I didn't tell everybody here how much I love you, how much I appreciate you. What we ought to do is family, let each other know that we care. And we're all family. The family is the most important thing in the relationship. And we can learn great doctrines about Jesus, and it's all about Jesus. But when you boil all doctrines down, it comes down to 2 things. God loves you more than a father or mother ever could.
Amen.
And He really wants to meet you. But He will never force you to get to know Him. It all comes down to every one of us to make a decision. 40 years ago, I made suffered, been through hell a few times. I knew what that he meant when he told me I would go through hell 3 times. I've been there a few times. I hope 3 of them now. I know that makes another, but he's been faithful. And if I held on to him, I ended up better off than I was before. In fact, I've been rewarded for faithfulness. One of the most unique things we had there, we went to an area where the chief had never been to the church we were at. He had a large area to cover. But because we were coming, the church there made a special invitation for him to come. So he came. But 2 weeks before we got there, he was walking along the road in the area when a ladder dropped down out of heaven. He didn't know whether it was a vision or a dream or what he would call it, but all of a sudden the heaven opened and a ladder came down. And 2 white men began to walk down the ladder. And he heard a voice saying, "These are my servants I've sent you." So, before the service began, we made gifts to the chief. And he looked at us and he had tears in his eyes. And he began to tell the story of how he was walking along. And he said, "Now I've seen the 2 men. It was me and David. You know, the greatest thing God can ever say about you is call you his servant." And that chief promised, he said, "From now on, I've never been to this church before. From now on, this is my church." So they were going to have special favor because the chief was going to be there. But how awesome a God he is that he could halfway around the world drop a ladder and show him 2 white men. You see, in most villages where we went, we were the first white men they'd ever seen. But God's so big and so powerful and so loving, he showed him us before we even got there. It amazes me, God's ability, his love, how that he knows how to protect Dana from a car wreck. How he knows what we're up to. And I'm convinced I can't leave this earth till my purpose is fulfilled. We drove across a bridge, and before we got there, we looked at it, and David said, "Make sure you stand up while we go across it." Of course, he was kidding, because I looked at it and I said, "We're in a 9-passenger van. A Toyota van. I don't have any idea how much it weighs, but this is a homemade bridge. Had concrete cinder blocks below it, and I got to look at the foundation. It was off the cinder blocks and cracked. So, for a moment, I thought about panicking and saying, "I believe I'll just walk across this bridge all along." But, you know, it's like a peace comes over. I don't course, we're smiling and waving, and they're waving back, and they're hollering the whole way. We sing different type of songs today because there was a song for and it was for the things started. Because God loves you. Grace experience you many of us experience with God. What we want in this church. God doesn't care where you come from, but He wants to change where you go. I'm glad that I made that change 40 years ago. I give Him control of my life. God's not my co-pilot.
No.
Heaven forbid I couldn't steer it the right direction. Project. We need at least 25 Bibles for 23 churches. Really need more than that. Change the world. Just do it one God's already moved on one He also wants us all to open up our hearts for His love. The great thing that I found there is outloading different gifts and everything. It's amazing how much God loves. Somebody out in Africa who doesn't even have electricity, who may be considered part of the poorest of the world. Believe me, the poorest person here has more than those people out in the bush. They have no welfare system. That pastor there that I was talking about, they're dying in his village. He's watching children die, crying out to God, please send somebody that cares, somebody to start an orphan, send money for food. Today, I hope God touches your heart and you feel His love that He has for those people. Because we don't realize that there are people starving to death right here in America. All around us, young people are dying at a rate that we've never seen before. How many know that America's average age has gone down lately because of young people dying? Dying from car wrecks, dying from drug overdoses. We haven't had any. But yet, we don't see them die like they do there. Maybe our hearts aren't stirred because of it like theirs are. We're just in about as shape as Africa is. We need God. You know, we're killing our future leaders by abortion.
Yes.
We don't realize what we're losing. We're killing them. Most of them, did you know that most of them, the abortions are on? They've already proved